Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you from Skopje, and today I'm actually pretty excited. Today we're going to the second oldest bazaar in Europe, the old bazaar here in Skopje, and I'm actually quite excited about it. We've been to the one in Istanbul, so I'm kind of curious to see how different they are and if they are different. This one, I think, I understand, has museums and art galleries and restaurants, a little bit more than maybe the one in Istanbul. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. So I'm pretty excited. Len, what about you?
I'm looking forward to it.
He's looking forward to it, in case you didn't hear him. So we'll take you along, see what we could find there. We might even stop for a bite to eat. So come along with us. We made it to the market after a bit of a treacherous walk here. I was attacked by a bird 3 times, 4 times? Too many times.
3 times at least.
Nasty.
Crow.
It was an ugly bird that kept attacking me and pecking at my head. It was very angry, and nobody else was bothered by it but me. It just did not like me. So we're at the market now, and we're gonna take you along with us to see what we can find.
If the camera could pick up the scents and smells, it would be lovely. There's very delicious food scent wafting through the air here. This is definitely very big, and you could very easily get lost in here.
Very easy to get lost. I think that was our restaurant.
And here we have an umbrella street. This street here in the market is entirely jewelry shops with a lot of very nice jewelry. And we're coming into another street of jewelry shops. Roxana and I are sitting here in the Skopje Old Bazaar, and we decided to try some Turkish baklava.
The honey is oozing out of it. It's very good. It's very good. We seem to be eating our way through the market, or the bazaar here. We had ice cream. Now we're having baklava. It's good.
Just to be sure, she's trying both pieces.
Mm-mm.
Oh, sorry.
Don't make that assumption.
I thought you cut both.
Mm-mm. I just had to confirm my response that it was good with the second bite. It was good. Do you want to try yours?
Okay. That is very good. Very sweet and very good.
Oh, excuse me. Are you having 2 bites to confirm your response?
Yes. So we're in the old bazaar in Skopje, and we decided to have some traditional Macedonian food. I'm having baked beans topped with kebabs and a local Macedonian beer. I'm not even going to try to say the name of this beer. I'm just going to let Roxanne zoom in on my beer and my dish. We're at a restaurant called Old City Restaurant. And before I even try it, I know it's going to taste good. I've already tried the beer.
And don't come after us. We were told by the waiter that this is traditional food.
Traditional Macedonian.
Right.
The beer is perfect. Nice and smooth.
What a food critic you are.
I can't be as good as the judges on the cooking shows. Let's start with the kebabs,
Which are like little sausages.
which are going to be coated in baked beans as I eat them. Oh gosh.
Oh, it looks hot.
It's very hot.
Can you even taste them from the heat?
Mm-hmm. Very good flavor between the beans and the kebabs. And I think these might be the same beans that we saw in the bazaar earlier today.
Yeah, I think so.
They're white bean. Very good.
So,
I would definitely have this again.
thumbs up.
Here is the Mustafa Mosque. My Apologies if I've pronounced that wrong or I've gotten this incorrect. I believe it's a 15th century mosque. So the Church of the Holy Savior is, from what I've read, the oldest preserved church in Skopje. And it dates from the 14th century. That is the church there in the background. And the signage says that it was dug 2 meters into the ground when it was built, because it had to be lower than the dominant Turkish religious buildings. So that's the entrance into the church. Relatively small church, but amazing that it is in this good shape. It was restored in the 1900s. It also suffered a great fire in 1689. It looks like a stone and wood church, and it's outside the church. Well, the church is walled in. In the wall, it walls into a courtyard here, and in the courtyard, laid to rest is a well-known and admired Macedonian revolutionary, and this is a sarcophagus. I hope I'm saying that right. You can see he lived 1872 to 1903. Here we are coming into the Church of the Holy Savior. What we're looking at here is a iconstasis, a wood carving wall that, from what I understood, took 7 years to create by hand by multiple wood carving artists. And it's considered to be, it's a very revered piece of artwork. And this church is a very revered church and symbol to the Macedonian people.
This is referred to as a city of statues, and there is no doubt about that. Like, look at that bridge across the way, a statue every few feet. Statue, 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 statue. There's like dozens within eyeshot. More statues. Look at them all.
Here we are in Skopje, and we're crossing the Mother Teresa Bridge. Across the river. The Vardar River. Here in Skopje is the Freedom Bridge, which is dedicated to all the Macedonian people who lost their lives and who sacrificed in any way for the eventual freedom of the country. Here in Philip II Square, we have multiple monuments, statues. These figures here are the people of history who created ancient alphabet and eventually which became the Cyrillic alphabet. Here in Philip II Square, there is a huge statue of Philip II. Here's the Skopje Fortress, where old meets new. Interestingly, as you can see in the brown, black, and white lettering, it says Kale or Kale. That is what the fortress is known as, the Skopje Fortress, or sometimes just known as Kale. From what I understand, the fortress inside used to have many more standing buildings and structures, but in 1963, July 1963, they had a devastating earthquake, which pretty well destroyed all of the existing buildings and structures that were in here. And from what I understand, it would have been much more majestic looking.
We just saw the fortress. Now we're on to go see the oldest hotel. Is that what it is?
No, it's just an existing
It's an existing hotel, 15th century caravan hotel. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure once we get there, Len will inform you about that. Too bad we couldn't get in there. It's all closed up with this very unique door and lock. Just the birds and the mice can get in. The little church mice through that hole down there. And the birds through this hole. But it looks pretty cool. Do you know what this is called? This is the one we're looking for?
Yeah.
Oh, and
But he didn't show us this one. Showed us a different. Yeah. But this is it, and it's closed.
It's closed. So now we know. Here I'm looking at what Len's looking for. He's running around the block looking for it, and I had it. Tell our friends what this is all about, because it's kind of cool.
So, from what I've read, I believe this is the site called Kershumli On, also known as a Ottoman caravanserai from the 15th, 16th century. And what this was basically a motel for all the merchants that were coming to the, I guess it wasn't called the Old Bazaar, it was the Bazaar at that time. Now it's the Old Bazaar, but they would come here and stay while they did their business. And the center courtyard, if you saw from the shot Roxanne showed you.
I'll show them again.
The horses and carts would have been kept, and they would have stayed on the second floor. So there was stables on the ground floor and rooms on the second floor. And obviously this is a Turkish architectural style here. There's huge wooden doors on the entrance here. So it's kind of a cool place, but
lots of history.
Unfortunately, it's closed down for us to see. And it's in very, very nice shape.
Considering there was an earthquake.
Yes.
So now we are going to go have a bite to eat because I'm hungry and it's lunchtime. And we're going to try to get to, what's it called? Destin? Something like that. It's supposed to be the oldest restaurant in Skopje. And I think it was from 1913, if I'm correct. We'll correct that if we're wrong, but I think that's what it said. So we're kind of looking forward to trying out the food. It's supposed to be all local food. So probably no chicken fingers for me. So let's go find it.
We're at the oldest restaurant in the old bazaar. It's called Discob, and it's been in business since 1913. I'm having another traditional menu item. I'll flip and show you. I'm having kebabs and baked beans in a clay dish with a side of onions and peppers.
And bread.
And bread. And Roxanne is having a traditional salad, which is, I believe, tomato, cucumbers,
and cheese. And bread.
And so here we are in Skopje at the Memorial House of St. Mother Teresa. And our timing really sucks. We just missed being able to see this place because it just literally closed. We were a little delayed getting here because of the rain. And just at our arrival, they were closing down. So unfortunately, all we can show you of this place is from the outside. Here we go. There's a chapel up on the second floor, second or third. I believe there's also a museum part and artifacts and lots of information about Mother Teresa, but I just feel so badly that we got here and all we can see is the outside of the building. And here is a bronze statue of St. Mother Teresa. Just outside the Memorial House of St. Mother Teresa here. It's decorated with white doves on the top part there. A nice little garden area. Here is the birthplace of St. Mother Teresa. When she was born, her last family name was Bojaxi, and what you can see there is on the marble is a foundation piece of her home, of her birth home. Her home was here, but it was destroyed in the 1963 earthquake. And in June 27, 1980, Mother Teresa planted this pine tree here, but it was later damaged in a storm. But seeds were kept from that pine tree, and in October 19, 2022, on the commemoration of the 19th anniversary of the beatification of Mother Teresa by Pope John Paul II, and in memory of her family, the Bojaxi family of five seedlings were planted from that original tree, and that's what those 5 seedlings were in memory of Mother Teresa and her family. So this site is the actual location of her birth home. So now we're off to see what previously was the Skopje train station, but in 1963 there was a horrible earthquake in which the train station, and from what I understand 70% of Skopje was damaged, and over 200,000 people homeless. It was a very bad earthquake. But we're going to see the train station, where at the train station, the clock on the train station stopped at 5:16 a.m. On the morning of July 26, 1963, at the time of the earthquake. And the earthquake was 20 seconds long, but in 20 seconds it destroyed 70% of the city and left 200,000 people homeless. So they left the clock on the train station as kind of a not as a remembrance of the tragic events of that day. And what's left of the train station, I believe, has been turned into a museum. It was a much grander building before the earthquake. And you can see the clock stopped at 5:16 a.m. up there. You can see on the left side of the building the remains of the arch there that I guess didn't crumble in the earthquake. And here's a better view of the front. It's kind of an eerie sight to see that and know that clock last worked when that event happened that many years ago, and 200,000 people homeless and 1,070 people died in that earthquake. And there's some archaeological exhibits outside the museum here, and unfortunately we're here on a Sunday and the museum is closed, so we cannot go in there to show you anything.
Yeah, they shut their museums down on weekends.
Which to us makes no sense, because that's when we'd think everybody would be going. So at the end of the street is the old train station that we just told you about, and this is a street where apparently a lot of earthquake damage occurred as well. The whole Hotel Bristol down there that you can see in the distance, that part of the hotel survived the earthquake, but the second half did not, and that's where that new building is with the blue glass. This is a new apartment or a new building. All these buildings along this street all went to replace the buildings that were here that were very classical looking buildings. And this building here on the corner here is an apartment that went up to replace the previous existing building. The previous existing building, I saw a picture of it, was beautiful, but they decided not to rebuild it because it only could house 10 families, and this building that they put up in place of it could house 40 families. So following the earthquake in 1963, the city and the country had to rebuild very quickly and mass build to replace the homes for all the homeless people from the earthquake. So after a really hard day of sightseeing, LOL, we've decided to stop and treat ourselves to literally treats. So we're at a place called Choco House. I'm having a Paris brownie, which is huge and delicious. I haven't tried it yet. And Roxanne is having
something with strawberries and chocolate.
Standing in front of the Church of St. Clement of Ohrid. And this statue behind me is one of the statues in front of the church here. This church is a Macedonian Orthodox cathedral. And from what I read, it was started to be built in 1972 and it was consecrated in 1990. And here is the church. It's huge, 3 domes that I can see, with a clock tower on the left. And Roxanne's already been inside.
It's very pretty. Go take a look.
Hope the camera can pick up the beauty of the front entrance here. Oh my God, it's beautiful in here. There's a center huge chandelier hanging from the center dome. The entire church is decorated in art and frescoes. And there's the upper level up there. One of the sites here in Skopje is double-decker buses that, from what I understand, date back to the 1950s when Britain gave a gift of double-decker buses to the city of Skopje. Here is the Macedonian Gate. And from what I understand, it was erected in 2012.
We're now in Zina Borak Park, the Women's Fighter Park. It was a park dedicated to the women who assisted with the liberation of Macedonia. And it's got a number of monuments, but unfortunately, none are women. So it's just a park for women with men in it. We're here in Skopje, just wrapping up our busy week here. We've spent a week here in Skopje, and we just wanted to give you our thoughts on our time here. We've had a pretty good time. Weather's getting nicer every day, so that's been really nice. It's almost short weather for us. But yeah, I think we've had a pretty good time. We've had lots of things to see and do. I think some of my favorite things that, from my point of view, is I enjoyed the Bazaar. It was fun walking down those narrow little streets. And I liked the Bazaar. I liked Old Town. I liked trying out their food. And I think one of the other things I really liked about Skopje is their love and respect for Mother Teresa. I understand that she was born here in 1910, but I just think it's wonderful to see how they've remembered her.
And honored her.
Yeah. That's been one of my top things. I think you're in the sun, sorry.
I am.
Do you want to move closer?
Yeah.
So those are kind of my highlights for me. I've enjoyed those things. Len?
Enjoy seeing the opposites, the ancient history and the current revitalization of the city. They have thousands of years of history here. So much history in one place, and to see a vibrant, current, modern day city. It's like on one side of the river you have the old Bazaar and the Scorpio Fortress, which dates to the 6th century, and on the other side you've got monuments and buildings like from 2010 forward and a modern day city. But even in the modern day city you've got all the old history there too. So it's just an incredible place. I just wish we would have had time to get up to the Millennial Cross, because we could have had an incredible panoramic view of the city from up there. But we saw a lot here, and I really enjoyed it. If you're in the Balkans and you get the chance to come to Skopje, I'd highly recommend it.
Yeah.
And there's always something to see here. We showed you a portion of what you could see here, and you could see so much more if you were mobile. Like we're coming here by bus and we're on foot when we're exploring, but there's so much to see outside the city limits.
Yeah.
For day trips, or so if you happen to come here renting a car, or you have or the ability to go on day trips outside Skopje, there's lots to see there too. When we came here.
Yeah, it caught me off surprise. I didn't know what to expect, but it's been a good trip.
Yeah.
It's been a nice stop along our journey here through the Balkans.
Yeah,
So,
and of course, on our last day here,
big thunderstorm.
was raining this morning, and now it's
beautiful.
warm enough that we're thinking we could have gone home and put shorts and t-shirt on. And
it's
just
really nice out.
Yeah.
That's why we never got up to the cross, is because it was storming, and we were ducked under having lunch, and by the time we were all done, everything was sunny and bright.
Yeah.
But anyway, we just wanted to give you a quick wrap up on our time here, our week in Skopje, and say thanks for coming along with us.
Yes.
Tell us in the comments, what was your favorite part you liked watching, or that you have experienced? We'd like to know.
And if we missed something.
Yeah, I'm sure that you guys will tell us what we missed. And that's okay, put it down in case we come back. Then we have a list of what we need to see next time.
Yeah, because I'm sure we missed.
We missed lots.
Yeah.
But we had a good time. So thanks, guys.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button, give us a like, and hit the little bell button so you know where we're heading to next. See you in the next video.